Hello everybody and welcome back to Cookie Gaming. Today will be the second episode of our Let's Play of Skyrim in 2023. What an odd year to play Skyrim in. This game is 12 years old, but many of us still have an interest in it. I hope you guys enjoyed part 1. I'm filming this before I upload the first part, so I haven't been able to see the reception yet, but I will be reading any comments that are left. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, we're doing this Let's Play of Skyrim. I wanted to try out my recording software, editing, all that kind of stuff, and so I chose a game I'm very familiar with, Skyrim. And we are playing through it. So, this is part 2. We have just reached Bleak Falls Barrow. We came straight from Riverwood, where we headed to after we were almost executed in Helgen. Now, we have a couple of bandits. I'm sure they're up to no good. Let's take care of them. And then we'll see what exactly is going on in this Bleak Falls Barrow. I mean, we're here to get a golden claw, which was described to us by the shopkeeper in Riverwood, but it seems there may be a little bit more to this tomb. I mean, it's an absolutely massive structure right across the river from, Riverwood. Funny name, I never thought about it, but it is just the location of the village. River next to the river, and wood, it's in the woods, basically. So yes, here we go. Entering Bleak Falls Barrow, which, like I said, is very imposing from the outside. I think they did a good job on the visual design, and I don't think the dungeon interior is anything exceptional, but for the first big dungeon that you do, I'm not really counting the caves after Helgen, I think it's a good introduction. I will say, after playing many hours of this game, the dungeons do get rather repetitive, but this is a good intro. It shows off the bandits, the traps of the dungeon, some interesting story elements and mysteries, the Draugrs, there's some interesting stuff. We're about to see this guy get absolutely pwned. Apologies, good sir. Okay, and, snake, whale, or dolphin? I'm not sure, to be honest with you. A very simple puzzle. Not that any of the puzzles in this game are that complicated, but, you would sort of hope that they would get more difficult as you do higher level quests, but they stay at about this level of difficulty. And I guess part of that is that, Skyrim doesn't really have level-gated content. You could do a lot of things at any level, since everything scales. So maybe they didn't want to make anything too challenging in case you show up like 10 minutes into the game. Skeevers. Like I mentioned last time, extremely easy enemies, but I'm always afraid that they're going to give me some weird disease if they hit me even once. And if you're unlucky, that is exactly what will happen. Oh my. Oh, what's going on here? This is rather suspicious. First boss. Yeah. We're getting it, Arvel. Don't you worry. I do think... I mean, like I said last time, I think the world of Skyrim is one of its best qualities. And they have some interesting little tidbits sometimes, like Arvel the Swift, and him being, trapped up in spiderwebs. That's absolutely intentional.
You did it. You killed it. Now cut me down before anything else shows up.
Where's the claw?
I know how it works. The claw, the markings, the door in the Hall of Stories. I know how they all fit together. Help me down and I'll show you. You won't believe the power of the Nords.
I mean, look, Arvel, it's not difficult. I would say hand over the claw first, but he obviously can't do that.
Sweet breath of Arcade, thank you.
We're gonna cut him down, and then we're immediately gonna murder him. Don't think me bad, but he will run away as soon as we cut him down. That's probably also another joke in his name, Arvel the Swift. Apologies. Here we have, he says, I figured it out. I figured out how to use it. Yeah. Not that difficult a puzzle, man. We have Arvel's journal, which we should read. He's trembling. He finally has access to the power of the ancient Nordic heroes. Yeah, it is kind of funny that Lucan had this the whole time. Had no idea what it was, but you wouldn't, would you? You would think it was just some sort of odd ornamentation. Or at least that's what I would think. I would think it was some sort of artifact. You know, maybe I'd put two and two together that it's an artifact from the nearby tomb, but I wouldn't think it had any sort of special puzzle-solving significance. Though I'm still thinking real world, I gotta remember this is Skyrim. I'm trying to use my familiar more so I can level up my conjuration. Which I don't think is really leveling all that much. Sorry, bud. Once again, the kill animations are probably the best part about Skyrim's combat. Don't trigger that Fandel. Wow. Oh, no, he still triggered it. I thought he'd missed it for once. It's one thing about your followers, they always do their absolute best to trigger every trap you run across. Alright, I know this guy's sleeping peacefully, but, you know, it's always nice to get the experience. Oh wow, look at that. A level up. Oh wow, our conjuration is 27. Yeah, I can see why it's not increasing that quickly. It's already quite a high level. And we could go straight for Apprentice Conjuration, but we can't use it right now. So we might as well, I think, go for one-handed instead. It's going to serve us better throughout this dungeon. And we don't need Apprentice Conjuration yet. Maybe we can get it before Whiterun. I don't know if we'll level up in time. Because we can at least buy some spells there. I mean, I'm sure Luke can sell some spells, but I can't imagine his collection's that impressive. Oh, actually, this is probably... Well, is this better than the bow you have?
Still here.
What are you using, Fandel? A hunting bow? 8. Yeah, I think it is. 9. There you go.
Lead on.
Another trap. We don't know, like, Fandel get all sliced up. Wow. We actually saved the familiar, too. Now, we have all these, like, fire pots hanging from the ceiling, but it's better just to get the, the XP from murdering them yourself. Here, let's summon another familiar. Hey, look at that. We're actually using our block. Oh man, we're kind of low-ish on health. Too bad. For those that didn't watch the first part, and I'd be shocked if you happen to stop in on part 2, but we're playing on expert level difficulty. No particular reason. I think that's just what I had it on. Like I said, it's not like Skyrim is a particularly difficult game, and turning the difficulty up or down doesn't really increase or decrease the challenge. All it does is make enemies less or more tanky, in my opinion. Well, that's not my opinion, that's true. What is my opinion is that I think a lower difficulty, it's just a faster way to play the game. It's not necessarily a less challenging way. Or a better way to put it is that a higher difficulty is not really that much more challenging. It just stretches things out. So, you know, if I feel like I don't want to sit there stabbing an enemy 50 times before he dies, then I will lower the difficulty. I mean, there's no shame in it. It's not like I'm playing Dark Souls or whatever. The ultimate gamer test of skill. This is Skyrim. Well, we won't conjure another familiar just yet. There we go. Bing bang bong. Let's do this, fella. I am ready for a flame Atronach, though, because this familiar is not very strong in the slightest. Oh man, I'm yawning. I'm recording this not super late at night, but it is solidly nighttime. I mean, this is when I play games mostly, right? Not that I really play too many games these days. Honestly, this is maybe one of the reasons I wanted to try doing this series, is that, you know, it's a good way to make some content out of just playing games. Because, you know, I do not play video games nearly as much as I used to. You know, I'm a full-grown adult now. My height of game playing was, I don't know, like middle school or high school. Just back when... Oh my goodness, I might die. Back when I was active on this channel, back in the day. Like, what? Well, I don't remember when I started, but... You know, 2016, 2015, 2017, that sort of era. My middle school into high school days. That's when I was playing a lot of games. But, like a lot of you, I'm sure, I've grown up a little bit since then, and the game playing has subsided quite a bit. I still like games, I still play them, but just not nearly as much, and they don't get me nearly as excited as they used to. I'm not sure if part of that is that they're just less exciting games these days, or if it's just me. I think it's probably a combination of the two, to be honest with you. But it's very rare. Like, I remember as a kid, you know, playing new games pretty often, and being super excited, super into them. Skyrim's a good example. I was amazed when I first played this game. But nowadays, to get that same sense of childlike amazement, very incredibly rare, maybe impossible. And I think that's partially due to the games that are coming out now. None of them really intrigue me as much as those from the good old 2010s. But also, you know, when I was a kid, like I mentioned, Skyrim gave me that sense of wonder and amazement. And I can guarantee you, if Skyrim was released when I was older, probably would not have been as impressive to me. You know, if I'd played Morrowind and Oblivion, and I was an adult when Skyrim came out, I probably wouldn't have gotten as into it as I did. Here we come to our first, you know, door puzzle, which I'm sure a lot of you know by heart. Just turn every ring twice. It's pretty simple. This is the only one I know by heart. The rest of them I still have to look at the claw, but this is also the simplest one by far. And now, I mean, we had the spider, which I guess was a boss. Skyrim doesn't really have technically defined bosses anyways, but this is kind of the first, like, real, actual boss. You know, end of dungeon boss enemy, right? I mean, we have our Word of Power, our Entombed Draugr, something that will become very familiar to us as we play through. Foos. Draugr Overlord. Yeah, you don't stand a chance, bucko. There we go. Oh. Oh, man. Oh. He's falling through the floor. Wait, is the Dragonstone in the chest? Nope. I literally cannot get Dragonstone. Well, that's a problem. That's a big problem. We're gonna have to reload. Now, classic Skyrim playthrough. You know you're playing Skyrim when you encounter a glitch like that. Okay. I'm just gonna cut right back to that boss fight, so I'm not boring you guys. Alright, here we go, everybody. Welcome back. I also quick saved, so I don't have to play through 5 minutes of gameplay if that happens again. And I've been, well, random pop. I've been lecturing about saving this whole time, and I didn't save when it counted. You know you're playing Skyrim when you're playing Skyrim Special Edition in 2023, and you're still encountering the stupidest bugs. Please don't fall through the floor this time. It's very annoying. I mean, look, you're not that difficult of a boss fight, but if you fall through the floor, there you go. You become a lot more difficult. There's the Dragonstone. Look, it wouldn't have been a big deal, except for the fact that he has the item that I need for the quest that you're always going to give me when I get to Whiterun. I mean, I was literally soft-locked at that point, which is just remarkable. It's just such Bethesda, Bethesda stuff. You love to see it. And, you know, they have really not gotten better. It's honestly remarkable how so many years can pass. And, you know, Bethesda was known for bugs before Skyrim. I mean, Oblivion. I don't know about Morrowind. I was far too young at that point. But they've been known for bugs for, God, must be decades at this point. Or maybe not decades, but at least more than 12 years, which is when Skyrim came out. And they have bravely held up that reputation to the present day. Bethesda and bugs, brilliant pairing. Frankly, a crucial pairing. I don't think we can get a Bethesda game without bugs. I guess we'll see how Starfield is. I think that's the name of their upcoming game. But it's probably going to be buggy like all their other games. I'm curious to hear what y'all think about Starfield. You know, I'm not really that into sci-fi stuff. And so, you know, it's not really up my alley in the first place. But also, my faith in Bethesda is rather low at this point. You know, we had Fallout 4, which I think was a bit disappointing. Still fun, I still enjoyed it, and I played a lot. A bit disappointing, especially compared to New Vegas. We had, I think Elder Scrolls Online was alright, but maybe not the best launch. We had Fallout 76, which was a total mess. And then we've had the countless re-releases of Skyrim, which, after a certain point, is just a cash grab. I'm just not super confident that Starfield is what's gonna revive Bethesda into making, you know, genre-defining games. But I could be wrong, and I would love to be proven wrong. Anyway, I'm far more intrigued by Elder Scrolls 6. Because, like I said, Starfield's not up my alley in the first place. Sci-fi is not really my type of thing. I'm far more into fantasy. And so,
you found it.
The Elder Scrolls 6 is what I'm really waiting for, if we ever actually get it.
Than I remember. Funny thing, huh? I'm gonna put this back where it belongs. I'll never forget this. You've done a great thing
you're welcome,
for me
Lincoln.
and my sister.
And I'm curious to see how much hype the Elder Scrolls 6 ends up actually
a bit of this,
having.
A bit of that.
Because, I mean, following the release of Skyrim, all everybody has wanted for years and years and years has been Elder Scrolls 6. And Bethesda has released many other games. But at this point, it's been so long, and like I said,
Till next time.
I don't think Bethesda is as loved as it once was, and I'm curious what level of hype is going to be for Elder Scrolls 6. I mean, people are still really excited for it, and despite my cynicism about Bethesda, I can't help but be sort of excited with just the idea of Elder Scrolls 6. So I imagine there's still going to be a fair bit of hype. particularly when we get a little more information. You know, I was gonna go and craft, but honestly, we might as well head to Whiterun instead. More material. Actually, what I should do is steal these ingots. Apologies, Alvor, but that's a bunch of free steel ingots, man. And you're not using them, you're just leaving them lying around. So, I'm taking them. These will be very useful to me in my smithing journey. Now look, we're playing this spell sword type, part martial, part magic character. And so we could go for robes to boost our magic, but that's gonna make us very weak in combat, very squishy. We're better off learning to smith. That's what I always do when I play Skyrim. Improve your smithing. Didn't even quick save, that was risky. And then learn enchanting. Wow, that was one of the easiest thieving sessions I've had for those ingots. By the way, I steal those ingots every time I play. Why would you not? So we're gonna learn to smith, you know, improve our armor, smith ourselves up a bunch of heavy armor, which is awesome. And then learn to enchant. Because enchanting can be absolutely broken, and so can smithing. Smithing and enchanting are very easy to break in this game. I don't intend to do that. I want to play through the game legitimately, you know. But, you know, we will be improving our enchanting and our smithing, and making some, 1, strong armor, and 2, armor that can benefit our magic regeneration, our magic pool, you know, let us cast spells easier, less cost, all that kind of stuff. That has always been the way that I go about it. Even with a pure mage character, you know, maybe I'll start with robes, but I will always start smithing some heavy armor as soon as possible. I know the alternative is you use alteration to, you know, boost your defense, but just seems a lot easier to use armor. You know, a lot of the Skyrim magicka trees are not that deep, and so you're better off combining melee / just, you know, physical combat with magic. Alright, let's see if we can reach the giant in time to help, so that Aella doesn't yell at us for being a spineless coward. Come on. And let's see if we can also do it without hitting any of the companions. Last time I did this... Well, there we go. Battery low. Hey, nice. Hello, Aella.
You handle yourself well. You could make for a decent shield brother.
Huh? What's a shield brother?
An outsider, eh? Never heard of the Companions? An order of warriors.
Yeah, nope. I'm from High Rock.
Sisters in honor. And we show up
I've been involved in court intrigue. Can I join?
Not for me to say. You'll have to talk to Codlack Whitemane up in Jorvaskar. The old man's got a good sense for people.
Yeah, Codlack Whitemane.
Look in your eyes.
Our non-leader, who
him,
actually just is our leader. Which is fine. I mean, it's not an official position. He's clearly at the head of the guild. The Companions. It's an interesting introduction, right? Because in other Elder Scrolls games, we have the Dark Brotherhood, we have the Thieves Guild, I'm trying to think, I mean, we have the College of Winterhold in Skyrim, and what do we have in other games? We have other mages' colleges. I'm trying to think. Can't remember now. But, you know, we have fighters' guilds in other Elder Scrolls games. In Skyrim, we specifically have the Companions, which is just the fighters' guild, but it is unique. You know, with the whole werewolf thing and all that. It's definitely a unique inclusion, which is certainly different from your regular fighters' guild.
Halt. City's closed with the dragons about. Official business only.
What? Always go with the persuade option.
But we'll be keeping an
I mean,
eye on you.
you could also go with the intimidate. I think it works just as well. But, you know, persuade's sort of the good guy option to go with. And bribe. I mean, dude, you're losing money trying to bribe a Whiterun guard? Come on, bruh. You have the charisma of a rock at that point. Though I think all of the speech checks work there. Once again, that's another thing that... And not to... I don't want to constantly critique the game, but... One of my favorite games of all time, is Fallout New Vegas. I love New Vegas. And whenever I play New Vegas, I will, like, almost always play a charismatic character. I just love the role-playing, talking your way through situations, convincing people. That stuff really appeals to me. That's some of the stuff I love in RPGs. And also, like, actual tabletop role-playing games. Like, my favorite part of D&D is the role-playing, you know, talking with the characters, NPCs, you know, the other players at the table. I love that. And that's something that Skyrim doesn't really do. You know, I mean, you have a speech tree, but it's not really useful. There's a couple of occasions where you get to use it, but it really doesn't give you that much that you can't already get. Like I said, Skyrim is a broad RPG, designed to appeal to a very general audience. And so, the RPG elements aren't that deep. Hello, Irileth. Got news from Helgen.
Come on then. The Jarl will want to speak to you personally.
I mean, the guards would have always let me in. They're not very discerning, to be honest with you. Hello, Balgriff.
So, you were at Helgen. You saw this dragon with your own eyes?
Yeah, I had a great view while the Imperials were trying to cut my head off. I love that answer.
Really? You're certainly forthright about your criminal past.
Yes I am, but that's not the point.
It's none of my concern who the Imperials want to execute, especially now. What I want to know is...
Balgriff's an interesting guy.
What happened at Helgen?
Dragons destroyed Helgen, man.
Irileth was right. What do you say now, Proventus?
And then Proventus.
Proventus
Evanici.
Against the dragon?
My lord, we should send troops to Riverwalk.
I mean, look, it's pretty clear who the Imperials are based on. You know, we have our Roman Empire here. Proventus Evanici. Though, if you're speaking Latin, it would be Proventus Evanici. But I'm pronouncing it how the Italians would. Since that's how most of us would say a name like that. But in Latin, you know, if we're talking about the Roman Empire, the C would be a hard C. I think always. You know, Caesar would not be Caesar. It would be Kaiser, which is, by the way, similar to the German monarchical title, Kaiser. Right? Sort of an interesting thing there. But in English, we pronounce it Caesar.
Suitable for someone of your
and, you know, modern Italy, you know, they're speaking Italian, not the Latin that the Romans spoke. They're far more comfortable with a bunch of different C sounds, not just the hard C. Alright, let's go.
I serve Jarl Balgruuf as steward.
Yeah, okay, thanks, Proventus. Don't care. Now we go talk to Farengar. An elf, I believe. He must be, right? I mean, his ears are hidden, but I'm pretty sure he's an elf.
Farengar, I think I found someone who can help you with your dragon project. Go ahead and fill him in with all the details.
Yeah, let me know, Farengar.
So the Jarl thinks you can be of use to me. Oh yes, he must be referring to my research into the dragons. Yes.
Crazy that you were already researching them. Farengar's ahead of the game.
When I say fetch, I really mean delve into a dangerous ruin in search of an ancient stone tablet that may or may not actually be there.
Alright, where am I going and what am I
To the
fetching?
point, eh? No need for tedious hows and whys. I like that. Leave those details to your betters, am I right? I
mean, I don't like how you said that, but I guess.
said to be housed in Bleak Falls Barrow. A dragon stone, said to contain a map of dragon burial sites. Go to Bleak Falls Barrow.
Wait
find
a
this
minute.
tablet, no doubt
A
enclosed in the
tablet
chamber, and bring
of
it to
dragon
me.
burial
It's in the
sites?
city itself.
I think I may have one of those. Though, the first time it did fall through the ground.
The dragon stone of Bleak Falls Barrow. You already found it. You are cut from a different cloth than the usual brutes the Jarl foists on me.
Thanks, Farengar. You seem like kind of a jerk.
You'll have to see the Jarl about that. Maybe his steward Avenici. I'm sure one of them will pay you appropriately.
Okay, well, let me go to do that. I wonder if anything else is gonna happen, huh? Irileth? Where is she? Jeez, here you go.
Farengar, you need to come at once. A dragon's been sighted nearby.
What a coincidence.
You should come too.
Me?
A dragon?
What the hell?
How exciting. Where was it seen? What was it doing?
I'd take this a bit more seriously if I were you.
Farengar's such a goof, man. Like, really? Where's it seen? That's fine, where's it seen, but what was it doing? Or, you know, it's more the tone. You just seem way too excited, Farengar. I'm gonna be honest. This is serious, man.
So, Irileth tells me you
We get to listen to this conversation, and also look at this map.
Tell him what you told me.
Oh, wow.
about the
You can
dragon.
update your map with this? I didn't know that. Well, that's my new goal. Add all of these to my map.
What did it do? Is it attacking the watchtower?
There we go.
No, my lord. It was just circling overhead when I left. I never ran so fast in my life. I thought it would come after me, for sure.
Good work, son. We'll take it from here. Head down to the barracks for some
I'm not
food
gonna
and
get all of
rest.
them before I gotta head to this dragon.
Irileth,
This is way
better
too
gather some
finicky.
guardsmen and get down there.
Particularly on controller.
I've already ordered my men.
You know,
Must
pretty
be at the main gate.
conveniently even split
Don't
between
fail me.
Imperials and Stormcloaks. Though I'm sure someone's done the math on who would actually have the upper hand
There's
here.
no time to stand on
Ah,
ceremony, my
Jarl. I
need
wasn't
your
doing
help
anything
again.
with your map, don't worry.
I want you to go with Irileth and help her fight this dragon.
Really?
You survived Helgen.
Oh, and we
You have
need to
more
buy our
experience with
Atronach
dragons
spell
than
from
anyone else
Farengar.
here. But I haven't forgotten the service you did for me in retrieving the dragon stone for Farengar.
Yeah, okay.
As a token of my esteem, I have
Yay,
instructed
Breeze Home
Avengers that
access.
You are now permitted to purchase
Breeze Home
property
is the
in
home I would
city. And
always
please
buy
accept this
before
gift from my
the
personal
DLC came out and you were able to build your own home.
Come along. I would very much
Iron
like
Shield
to
of
use
Waning
that.
Magic. Oh, that's probably pretty good,
arm.
actually.
Can't afford to risk both of you. I need you here working on ways to defend the city
I mean,
against
I almost never keep the items that are given to me. I'd just rather disenchant them. Get the experience. I can enchant something better later. Or did we... Yeah. We can do our... Who are
You
you?
tried mercenary work? It might suit you.
Amrin, what are you doing in here? You're not usually hanging around here, are you? Alright, will you sell me stuff out of your
I
office?
envy you.
Yes,
Spells
you
and
will.
incantations for those with the talent to
Alright.
cast them.
I don't really need bound weapons. They kind of aren't that great. Hey, Flame Atronach. Now, do I have the magicka to cast that? Let's see. 62, yes I do.
If you've
Alright.
got the aptitude, you should join the Mages College in Winterhold.
Oh, really? Interesting. So do a quick save here. Let's go, Irileth. We have a dragon to beat. Then we can... You know, this is basically what I always do, and you're kind of railroaded through it, right? You escape Helgen, you go to Riften, Bleak Falls Barrow, then Whiterun. You don't have to do any of that, but it's pretty easy just to follow the questline to that point. I do all of this, I defeat the dragon, I get Lydia, and then from that point on, I split off in any other direction. Most of the time, I do not split off to do the main quest. I go immediately to whichever faction I'm most interested in during that playthrough. Or whichever one's closest. Like, in this playthrough, we're suited to the Companions and the Mages College. College of Winterhold. We'll probably join up with the Companions first, because it's right here. And then, maybe a little bit later, do the Mages College. And we've got a lot of quest lines to do. Not to mention that, you know, you don't actually need to be good at thievery or assassinations to join up with the Dark Brotherhood or the Thieves Guild. You know, they'd just be letting anybody in. And to be fair, you know, the Thieves Guild is pretty desperate, so I can forgive them for that. But none of the quests really require that impressive stealth abilities.
Now we're in for it.
You heard right. I said a
Let's hear
dragon.
Irileth's
I don't much
inspiring
care where it
speech.
came from or who sent it. What I do know is that it's
I mean, she
taken
must be a
the
pretty
attack in
impressive
Whiterun.
warrior. A dark elf woman who is leading the garrison of Whiterun.
Fair question.
You know,
None of us
we
have
know
ever
the sort of
seen a
discrimination
dragon or
that
its
elves
face
of
in
any
battle.
sort can face in
But we are
Skyrim.
honor-bound
So
to fight,
she must be pretty
even if we
impressive.
fail. This dragon is threatening our homes, our families.
I mean, regardless
You call yourself
of if we're
Lord,
talking about
ran from this
Imperial
monster,
or
and you
Stormcloak
won't let me
territory,
face this thing alone?
Nords are racist. It's just that the Stormcloaks have really integrated that into their movement.
Think of it. The first dragon
Maybe
in
unintentionally.
Skyrim since the last age.
Or, I don't know, maybe intentionally.
Glory of killing it is ours. If you're with me.
Woo!
Now what do you say? Shall we go kill us a dragon?
Let's do that. Let's go kill a dragon. Sounds like fun. Our first dragon fight of the game. Of course, we already encountered Alduin, who saved us from getting our noggin chopped off. But now we actually get to fight a dragon. Here's Ysgramor, by the way, on the loading screen. An elf-killing Nord hero. Relates to what we were just talking about, to be honest. Whiterun. You know, whenever I'm looking at the ramparts and outskirts of Whiterun, I always think about the Civil War quests. They're fun. And it is cool seeing the cities you know turned around, turned upside down, as two enemy armies are fighting against each other. But, you know, once again, it's Skyrim, so the full potential is not actually met. They could do a ton more to really impose some permanent consequences on these cities for the Civil War quests. But they usually don't. Which is, it's fine. It is what it is, you know? It's still cool to do them. And hey, it clearly stands out. That's what I was thinking about when running around the outskirts of Whiterun. Alright, let's give Irileth and our soldiers a little bit of help.
No
There
signs
they
of
are.
any dragon right now, but it sure looks like he's been here. I know it looks bad.
And we have our
We've got
Flame
to figure out
Atronach,
what
which is
happened.
perfect, because it can actually do ranged damage, unlike our Familiar, which doesn't do much damage in the first place, but also is just an ankle biter. Wow. Watchtower is not looking good. Oh, there you are.
No, get back. It's still here somewhere. Rocky and Tom
Get back.
just got
I'm
grabbed
here,
and tried
man.
to make a run for it.
Where is it? Where
Let's
is it?
save us. Here he comes again.
Here he comes. Find cover and make every arrow count.
Yeah, I will say, it is pretty damn impressive. I mean, I know I'm here, the Dragonborn, but the freaking Whiterun guard garrison just runs out to take on a dragon. I mean, hey, shout out. They are definitely protecting their city. Though, I don't know if they would have succeeded if I wasn't here. Maybe they would have. It's not actually too difficult to kill a dragon in Skyrim. I mean, other games have done dragon fighting a whole lot better. Skyrim, you just wait till they land, slice them up, maybe do some range damage while they're in the air. Not too complicated. Hello. Bonk them on the nose. The classic stuff. Oh, wow, another level up. Remarkable. We'll save that until we need some immediate healing. You know, top tip. If you don't want to use your level up immediately, or you don't feel the need to improve one of your skills immediately, just save your level ups until you need some health. It's full bar of health, don't need to use a potion. Pretty awesome. Although I don't think... Well, we don't need to, but we might as well. Let's put one more into Magicka. What could we do? We could do heavy armor. We might as well wait until level 40 for that. I mean, there's a lot of stuff we could do. I think I'm looking at either restoration or heavy armor. Oh, we also need some smithing. We'll do heavy armor for now. You know, like I said, this is a rather broad, quote-unquote, class. So we've got a lot of skill trees to put points into. You don't want to spread them out too much, because then you'll be... Well, under-leveled isn't the right word. You'll be the right level, but you'll be under-skilled. That's a problem with Skyrim. The leveling system is a lot better than Oblivion, which, you know, I do generally prefer the whole RPG concept of choosing a class and having specific skills and specific abilities, but the way Oblivion did it just did not work very well. Leveling was not a high point from that game. Yeah, who's gonna...
I can't believe it. You're Dragonborn.
Oh, it's you who's talking. What do you
Very
mean?
oldest tales, back from when there were still dragons in Skyrim. The Dragonborn would slay dragons and steal their power.
Well, sounds like me.
That's what you did, isn't it? Absorb the dragon's power.
I think you may be right.
Yes, I think I am. You can shout now. That can only mean one thing. You must be Dragonborn.
Nice.
Dragonborn? What are you talking about?
Alright, let's head back to Whiterun.
My grandfather used to tell stories about it.
What was I talking about? Yes, leveling in Skyrim. Skyrim leveling is interesting. Like I said, on a conceptual level, I prefer sort of class-based RPGs to... I don't know what you would title Skyrim's leveling. It's like action-based leveling. You know, you level as you perform an action. I see why it's attractive. You know, it's a little more sort of grounded, I suppose. You perform an action, and you get better at it. Makes sense. Just for me, I do prefer the traditional RPG stuff, but that's personal preference. I think Skyrim's leveling works pretty well. Like I said, there are some problems. It allows you to spread your skill points so broadly, which feels a little weird sometimes. Like, yes. And this is what a lot of people do, which is they play a character, and instead of focusing on a couple of skill trees to make a specific class to roleplay, they end up being, yeah, so, you know, my character is pretty good at destruction, he's pretty good at one-handed, he's pretty good at archery, he's pretty good at sneaking, he's pretty good at alchemy, you know, jack of trades, master of none. Is that the phrase I'm looking for? Or whatever that popular common phrase is. Jack of all trades, master of none, right. Versus a system like Oblivion's, which I have a lot of problems with. I don't think it's a good comparison, because it's not very good, but you would be more restricted to the class that you chose. Or, another example is something like, look at Fallout New Vegas. Now, it has an interesting system where you have to choose specific attributes at the beginning. You know, how good is your strength, how good is your charisma, but then you can level any skill you want to level, but you just get points when you level up. I like that system too. Apologies if I'm not using the correct terminology, but all of these games use the same terminology, you know, skills, attributes, all that kind of stuff, but they use them on different things. So it can be a little confusing, perks, when you talk about them all together, because they're using the same terms to describe different concepts. Hello, everybody. I'm the Dragonborn now. Well, I guess I was always the Dragonborn.
You heard the summons. What else could it mean? The Greybeards.
We were just talking about you. My brother needs a word with you.
Yep, I know
What happened
Hrongar.
at the watchtower. Was the dragon there?
The watchtower was destroyed, but we killed the dragon.
I knew I could count on Irileth.
I feel like he knew that first part.
Must be more
He probably knew the watchtower was destroyed from that Garda game to talk to him. Turns out I may be something called Dragonborn?
Dragonborn. What do you know about the Dragonborn?
Jeez, don't get so aggressive. You know, I just absorbed some kind of power from the dragon when it died.
It's true. The Greybeards really were summoning you.
I suppose they were. Or, who?
Masters of the way of the voice.
Who? The
They
Greybeards?
live in
Excuse me?
seclusion, high on the slopes of the throat of the world.
And what did these old men want with me?
The Dragonborn is said to be uniquely gifted in the voice. The ability to focus your vital essence into a thum, or shout.
Thum.
If you really are
I'm always
Dragonborn,
tempted with Nord words to pronounce the TH as just a T instead of a th, like tomb instead of thum.
That was the voice of the Greybeards, summoning you to
But I
High
think that's
Rock.
wrong.
This hasn't happened in centuries, at least. Not since Tiber Septim himself was summoned when he was still Talos of Atmora.
Nice.
Rungar, calm yourself. What does any of this Nord nonsense have to do with our friend here?
Typical
Capable as
Preventus.
he may be, I don't see any signs of him being this, what, Dragonborn.
No nonsense. Why, you puffed up ignorant. These are
Yeah,
our
I mean,
sacred
he is
traditions
puffed
that go
up
back to the
and
founding of
ignorant.
the First
Though, to be
Empire.
fair, they have no evidence that I'm Dragonborn.
Don't be so hard
They'd have to wait
about
for all the guards to arrive, and then
I meant no
they could give them a
disrespect, of
first-hand
course.
account.
It's just that, what do these Greybeards want with him?
That's the Greybeards' business, not ours.
I mean, y'all know what they want with me. They
Whatever
want to train
happened
me.
when you killed that dragon. It revealed something in you, and the Greybeards heard it. If they think you're Dragonborn, who are we to argue?
Well, you don't know they were asking for me.
Better get up to High
You're just
Hrothgar
taking my word
immediately.
for it.
There's no refusing.
Which is fair
the
enough, I
summons
guess.
of the
You can do that if you
Greybeards.
want to.
It's a tremendous honor. I envy you, you know. To climb the 7,000 steps again. I made the pilgrimage once. Did you know that?
No, sir.
High Hrothgar is a very peaceful place.
Alright, I
Done
get
a
it, I
great
get it.
service for me and my city, Dragon.
Give me the axe.
By my right as Jarl, I name you
And I get my
Thane of
position
Whiterun.
Thane,
It's the greatest
which
honor
doesn't
to
get
put
you
my power to
anything
bear.
apart from
I assign you
a companion,
Lydia
or
as
a follower,
personal
sorry,
housecarl,
Lydia,
and this weapon from my armory
and
to
you can
serve
commit a
as your
crime
badge of
one time and be
office.
forgiven.
I'll also
That seems like
notify
an
my
odd-
guards of your new title.
An odd
Wouldn't
perk.
want them to think you're part of the common rabble, now would we?
No, not the
We
common
are honored
rabble.
to have you as Thane of our city,
No, being
Dragonborn.
given this position,
No matter.
you'd think it would
Go to
either
Whiterun.
be that,
Learn what the
you know,
Greybeards can
I
teach
can
you.
get away with
Back to business for that.
small crimes always, because I'm the Thane.
Yes, my
Maybe after a certain amount it'll be a problem, or that this is not a corrupt administration and that I can't get away with any crime. But they chose the option of you can get away with one crime, but that's it. No more crime after that. Interesting. Alright. What does this axe do? I'm just gonna disenchant it if I can. Frost damage.
Dragon's reach to discuss
Do we have a frost damage enchantment? Yes, we do. Alright, we'll just be selling it then. Faendal, I apologize.
Behind you.
We've got to
I'll
part
head back
ways.
home if you need me.
We've now accessed Lydia, the most iconic of Skyrim companions.
You killed the dragon.
Yes, I did kill a dragon. Hello, Lydia.
Jarl has appointed me to be your housecarl. It's an honor to serve you.
She sounds sarcastic from the beginning.
Lead the way.
I'm probably going to sell the Axe of Whiterun. Apologies. But the cash is what I want. Now, we are ready to set out on the rest of our journey. We've gotten to that point, which, for me, like I said, is where I split off and do whatever I want. I imagine that's probably true for a lot of you guys, because at this point, you know, you've unlocked Lydia, who many of us would just keep for the rest of the game, and, most importantly, you've unlocked Shouts. So now, if you do any dungeons or defeat any dragons, you'll get souls, and you can get Words of Power. Now, it's still good to go to the Greybeards and get the rest of Fusor and all that kind of stuff, but, you know, I'm not quite sure what we'll do from this point on. I reckon we'll go do the Companions, but maybe we'll do a little more of the main quest. But, without any further ado, that is where we're going to end this episode, the end of episode 2 of our Skyrim playthrough. Fabian and Lydia, who refuses to turn around, very rude. Fabian has just realized he is the Dragonborn. He has this amazing power. He can defeat dragons and absorb their souls. What is he going to do with that power? Well, you'll have to check in next time to see, but I imagine probably gallivanting around Skyrim, committing murder, looting tombs, doing all sorts of morally questionable behavior, just like any good Skyrim adventurer would do. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Now, I hope you guys are having a great day today, and I will see you all again next time.